Hello and welcome to News Laundry Interviews. I have with me Shreya Singhal, thank you for coming, who is a student of law and is the person behind the public interest litigation challenging Section 66A of the IT Act.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, just for our audience who have come into this entire debate late, what is Section 66A and its implications?
So Section 66A of the Information Technology Act basically outlines what constitutes a crime with the content that's put up on the internet. So this can be private conversations, so email, WhatsApp, anything, or public ones, so a blog post or a Facebook post or even a comment on like a review of a restaurant or an item.
Can be
anything.
It can be a criminal activity.
No. It can just be like, oh, I don't like it. The things that constitute a crime in the section are words like annoying.
Right.
So I can find something annoying. It's very subjective. So I can find something annoying. I can find you annoying, or your picture on your Facebook profile annoying. And I can have you arrested. I can have you arrested for that and jailed for up to 3 years.
Can you imagine? Had they had this law when I was younger, I'd have spent my life in jail. Now the thing is, I just like to tell our audience that this is what the judge observed when you file this public interest litigation. The Supreme Court took immediate note of this PIL, and the Chief Justice of India at the time, Altamas Kabir, said, "We were wondering why no one has approached the Supreme Court over this and thought of taking this up."
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think no one thought of taking this up? I mean, it's the most bizarre law.
It is.
And you're a young student, not to say there's anything wrong with youth, but I'm just saying, you have enough to do with your classes, you're studying law. Did you ever wonder that, how did you come about taking this up? Do you normally read laws and say, well, shit law, let me take that up?
No. I only learned of it when I think the 2 Palghar arrests happened last year.
The Palghar arrests, for our viewers, are those girls in Bombay when Bal Thackeray died and the Shiv Sena called a bandh and they said it's a bad idea.
Was it out of fear or respect that Bombay was shut down?
And they were arrested for that.
They were arrested for that.
That's when you got interested in this.
So, that's when really the law came into, I think, public sphere.
Okay.
I just feel that it was, we talk about things, so many things we just talk about with our friends in a drawing room and, just at parties and stuff. But, I think it just comes a point where you kind of hit breaking point. Like, you have to do something. You can't just say someone will do something will happen eventually.
Well, that breaking point usually doesn't come till people are in their 60s and 70s. Ab kya karna chahte, budhe ho gaye. For you to come at 22, well, I think it's fantastic. So then what do you do? When you heard about this arrest, you said, what the shit?
Yeah, basically. Mama and I were literally having a very heated conversation in close to an argument just at home. And
why were we arguing? Was she thought this was a good idea?
No, just about we were just, Mama's a lawyer, so she's like,
okay, let me guess, you wanted to take this up and she said, child, you concentrate on your studies, leave all this activism.
Not really. She was like, we were just literally just discussing it, how horrendous this is and what, because we all use the internet. So anything you put up on the internet, to be able to be prosecuted for that is a bit much.
Right.
So it was just a heated discussion on that. And I was like, someone has to do something. And Mama was like, why don't you? So I kind of spoke to one of her friends and we came up with a petition, and Mama was pretty surprised.
So the law says any person who sends by means of a computer resource or a communication device any information that is grossly offensive or has a menacing character, or any information which he knows to be false for the purpose of causing annoyance, inconvenience, danger, obstruction, insult, injury. Dude, we insult people all the time.
I know.
And are insulted as well. You just read our comment section. But so actually by this law, all those people who are saying
you can have them arrested.
We can have them arrested. So all of you who trolls were being nasty to us, we can have you arrested, but we won't. So tell me, you're a student of law. If I use a computer device or a communication device to do this, I come under 66A. But if across a market I shout at someone, hey, you ugly fool, and I insult someone, then I don't fall under this because I haven't used a device, I've just used my voice.
Yeah, it's by any electronic means essentially. So it can be over the phone.
Oh, I see. But if you do it like in a public platform using no technology,
then other laws will come in. You can be sued for defamation or whatever.
but that applies anyway.
That applies
then
anyway.
66A doesn't
Not
apply.
66A. 66A only is for electronic communications.
So what do you think? I mean, you studying law for a year now? You're in the first year of law?
Like 3-4 months.
4 months. And before this, you graduated with astrophysics at Bristol University. My God.
Yeah.
Astrophysics, wow. Okay. So there must be some very accomplished people who must have written this law. I mean, I think Kapil Sibal was the minister when he wrote it. He's a brilliant lawyer. How do you think this came about in spite of such checks and balances of such brilliant minds?
I think that, if you have something might make sense theoretically. But when you're applying it to over 1 billion people, that's when the kinks come out of it, where it just doesn't fit, and practically it may not make very much sense. It doesn't fit to the Indian people and to the changing landscape that is today. I mean, we're one of the largest, I think we're the second largest Facebook using country. Okay. So, and out of there are over 500 million users of Facebook. That's half the population of India, technically, if you just look at the numbers.
Right.
Where, I mean, it's going to affect.
That's a total number of Facebook users
worldwide.
Worldwide. Okay.
Worldwide, which, I mean, and if we're the second largest, so we have a good 200-300 million users just in India, and we are, most of our population is between, the 24 to 50 category.
Right. I see. So tell me, how did it actually play out? Just how does this happen? You sat with your mother and just decided you file a PIL, then you drafted it out.
Yeah.
Then you went to Supreme Court.
Yes.
So how does it work?
So,
in case any of our viewers are as motivated as you to take on bad laws.
No, you should.
So once you draft it out, then?
So basically, under Section 32 of the Constitution, Article 32 of the Constitution, it's the right to constitutional remedies that the Constitution gives to its citizens. Mm-hmm. So anyone can file a public interest litigation in the Supreme Court. You go to the highest court to seek remedy for a wrong that's done.
Okay. So how does it actually work? You go there and stand in line? How?
If you are competent enough, you can just write out a petition. You need to find different laws, you need to find precedents of what has happened. So we have a lot of international precedents of what happened, because our law is taken verbatim from the British law, Section 127 of the British law. So there was one very famous, I think very popular case that was maybe 2-3 years ago, where there was this one man who was going, I think he was a student, traveling to America on holiday or something, got stuck in long immigration queues or something, and basically said, I hate JFK, I want to bomb this airport. Okay. And now has been banned for life from America. He tweeted that. Someone else got stuck in England at an airport. Then this is the case that we specifically cited. Got stuck at the airport and said, oh my God, I hate this airport. I want to blow it up. I've been stuck here for 2 hours. So he got thrown in jail for a couple of months. And eventually through the appeals courts and stuff, he won the case, saying that it wasn't meant as an actual threat.
So you can use that as a precedence for this? Because
it's the law is verbatim.
Okay.
So, it was being misused there, but now because the courts have overruled it, they don't use it in that sense, and they see in public opinion, what it is. If it actually does mean, oh, I want to go there, put a bomb and blow up an airport, or is it just frustration?
Okay. So, what you've said is that it violates Article 14, 19(1)(a).
Which is our freedom
and
of speech.
Article 21 of the Constitution,
yeah.
which is freedom of speech. So this Section 66A violates that. So therefore
yes.
It is at odds with the Constitution of
yes.
India. Therefore it should be struck down. Is that your position?
Oh, I'm saying it should be struck down and rewritten.
Okay.
Because we obviously do need governance, internet governance,
right.
because there are serious crimes that take place over the
sure.
internet. But you also have to develop with times. Mm-hmm. You can't have a law the IT Act was amended in 2008 mm-hmm. and hasn't been touched since. So in 5 years, just look at how far the internet's come.
Right. So sorry, coming back to that, so if you're competent enough, you use all these
otherwise you go to a lawyer,
out your
draft
public
out,
interest litigation, then do what with it? Okay, now I have my public interest litigation in my hand. Now where am I?
Then you file it in the Supreme Court.
So is there like a window file here? How does it? No, just
so
I just want you to break it down so that if anyone out there wants to get engaged or wants to do something, they should know exactly how it works.
Okay. Well, I just have a little caveat. Our courts are excessively overworked. We are a very over litigious country.
Okay.
So there's no point in filing frivolous.
Sure, absolutely.
PILs.
No frivolous PILs. You should mean it should mean something. It should be important.
Because I mean you're wasting the court's time.
Absolutely.
You're wasting that time could be, you could hear a more important case. Someone might be languishing in jail for like 12 years.
No, trust me, after this interview, the number of frivolous PILs won't spike. I promise you. We have very responsible viewers on News Laundry, right?
So you basically, please get a lawyer.
Okay.
Because it's always better. You can get a third-year law student if you're a student. You have
someone
friends.
who knows.
Just someone who knows how to, because it's the language that you have to use, the format. It can be a bit daunting to someone who's never done law and just decides to file a PIL. Help is always
Are you kidding?
better.
When I apply for my passport, I need help from the lawyer.
My God.
so definitely go with lawyers. Yes.
Yeah. So it's almost as bureaucratic. So you go to the registrar, then you file it.
So there's a registrar, then you go there and you file it.
So
the registrar will pass it on to a bench.
And it'll come up in the docket.
Okay. And if the judge thinks it worthy, they'll admit it. Otherwise, they'll say this is frivolous and go away. Right. So now that we know how it's done. Okay. Now what I read here is that the present status on September 2013, the Supreme Court of India has decided to give the final hearings of all the petitions related to regulation of free speech online, including Shreya's PIL, on the first week of 2014,
January. Right?
So what's going to happen then? That's your final argument you're going to present?
Yes, hopefully.
How many times have you gone in so far?
We've gone in every time. So in our original petition, we had 4 states. We had Maharashtra, Pondicherry, West Bengal, and Delhi, because I was in Delhi.
Right.
And the union, of course.
Okay.
And then
and why these 4 states? Because those instances.
So the Palghar arrests were in Bombay, in Maharashtra. There was a businessman who was arrested in Pondicherry.
Okay.
There was.
What did he do?
He basically, on Twitter, he said something slanderous or defamatory about P. Chidambaram's son, who is a prominent businessman.
Correct.
Then there was the professor in West Bengal with the Mamata Banerjee cartoon.
So that's okay.
So those were the 3 initial incidents.
Right.
And then, I mean, there have been consequent incidents. So we've implemented a lot of states in almost a year now that it's been. So we've implemented Andhra Pradesh because there was the PUCL head of Andhra who got arrested.
Yes.
We have implemented UP because of the Muzaffarnagar things. Partly something, I think, there was this one professor again who...
Oh yes.
With the wall, the demolition of the mosque wall and all.
He had made some about that Durga when she was suspended. Yeah. I remember that, correct.
There was that. And also there's been...
So each time one of these incidents happened, you went to court and said that here's another case of misuse. That's what you say? Yeah,
also because the court had issued a notice saying that no arrest can be made under Section 66A unless it has been approved by a first-class magistrate.
Okay.
So now we don't know if it's... Because we haven't been able to procure the FIRs.
So you don't know if it actually happened?
We don't know if it actually happened, but we've implemented the states because the arrests are continuing to happen. I mean, you see, at least whatever's been put out in the media reports, you can see that it's a bit frivolous, that what they've been arresting them for.
Right.
So we've basically been implementing the states, and now they're coming up for final hearing. So
and who does the counter from the other side?
The Attorney General.
I see. And who has been appearing on behalf of the government?
So, Ghulam Mohammadi appeared for a bit in the beginning.
Right.
And then also the individual states have also been appearing. They were told to appear as well.
And now in 2014 is going to be your last final argument, and then the judge will
reserve it for judgment.
I see. And what kind of a judgment would you expect?
I think it'll be a favorable one because they were willing to take it up sumo moto. They
Right.
wanted to take it up.
Right.
So, and I mean, they can also see that some laws work, some laws don't. You don't have to then drag it on saying, no, it's a right law, it's working, when clearly it's not.
Okay. And other than 66A, there's also this 79, which refers to third parties, like mouthshut.com versus Union of India. Because a lot of these sites that have reviews, they're being sued by those who've got bad reviews.
Exactly.
Under this section 79, which for our viewers is another section of the IT Act, correct? Which says that if there is a platform like mouthshut.com or Facebook or Zomato or anyone who reviews stuff, that if you give someone a bad review, say something bad, that website or that platform is responsible. Is that right? That's what the law.
That's what the law is.
So why does that not extend to newspapers that give bad reviews?
That's part of my argument, is that if I were to say some of the things that were said on the internet in a newspaper, if I wrote an article or said it on TV or the radio, nothing would happen to me.
Right, but on the internet it's...
But on the internet, suddenly you're going to be mega like police.
I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that this is a new platform. People are still getting used to it. Its actually power has been seen in various revolutions or pseudo revolutions around the world, and so people are a little scared of it. Governments are, which is but natural.
Yeah.
But how are other parts? I mean, do you know how other countries are dealing with this? I mean, have they adjusted to it a lot quicker, or has every country at some point or the other come out with a really clumsy law?
I think every country has come out with a clumsy law. In England, there was a window law. You couldn't have like more than a certain number of windows in a house.
Oh, okay.
There have been some very strange laws. And the thing is that even the lawmakers they also know that, you have a law that might fit an ideal situation, but you're never going to have an ideal situation in practicality. So, you just kind of have to evolve the law to fit the needs of the nation of the day.
And how does this fight of ours that you've taken on behalf of all of us, how does it interfere with your college work?
Not really, because thankfully, otherwise I would have no attendance.
Really? So each time you have to go to court, you tell college that today I'm doing the real thing, class not for me today, huh?
No.
Suckers! I'm in court today, huh? No?
Oh God, no, I wish, but maybe I should try that next time. But luckily, it hasn't really interfered too much, because if we have meetings, we'll have them in the evening after court and all, and after 4 o'clock. So I'm home most of the times. I have morning classes, so it's not too bad. It's only when I'll miss a day or two when there's a hearing or it gets adjourned or something. But that's it.
And once you finish law, what's it that you want to do?
I'm not sure as yet. I'm leaning towards litigation.
So you have plenty of practice. You would have had plenty of practice by then.
Only as a petitioner, not as arguing the case.
I see. Okay. And let's say this law is upheld. Is there anything else anyone can do, or then you just got to live with it?
It would be really sad if they do uphold it in its current form, because it is.
So that's not even a possibility in your mind?
I really don't want it to be also. I don't want to think of that, because it's just going to be just such a sad day when you have the world's largest democracy and you can't say what you think on the largest platform that you have.
Right.
I mean, it's accessible to everyone, the internet. You have the UP government is giving laptops to students.
But we don't have their Wi-Fi enabled. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're learning computers and all. It's just shocking if that happens.
So free laptops in UP, but no free Wi-Fi. But thank you so much for coming and explaining to us what this is all about.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if any of our audience is motivated enough after seeing this very young lady take on such a big battle, I hope you have learned something about how to file a public interest litigation. Right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Thanks. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
And to us all.
Thank you.